Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Fits and I may change the name to Strange Conceits. Strange Conceits. When I was in getting my degree in English and philosophy in 1960, I remember reading and being fascinated with the poetry of John Donne, English poet who was called was the metaphysical poet because of his strange conceits. And I looked it up just now because usually we think of conceit as being, oh, he's conceited. But a conceit is the juxtaposition of two incompatible ideas in poetry that makes the poem. I call them metaphors. So like when I was I jump around, so you have to hang in with me. When I was writing for the local newspaper, I remember writing a story about the bridge parties, of a bygone age when the ladies would have bridge parties because they didn't work, you see, and they would present the table for the party at their house, and it was important to carry out the color scheme so that the napkins and everything would have a color scheme, you see. So an extended metaphor, a conceit, is an extended theme that is carried out through the poem. Movies are extended themes. There's a theme that's carried out in the movie that is kind of like a question. You know, and as you move through the movie, as you move through the poem, as you move through the conceit, the question reveals itself because there's a thread, you see, that runs through it. A golden thread that runs through the art, the movie, that if you follow it, it begins to reveal a new way of understanding. It begins to reveal, open like a flower, you see, open itself to you because you are curious, because you stay with it, because you were open and not judgmental, and because you remain still and you don't wander away. Oh, what time is it? Oh, should I play golf now? Or, oh, I should have watched that, or whatever. We stay with it. We watch. We hold. And it reveals itself because we follow the thread, you see. I call it Ariadne's thread in the great myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. How did Theseus get out of the labyrinth? By following the thread, you see, that he unrolled as he went in. So that's a famous myth, Ariadne's thread. So the conceit, the juxtaposition of incompatible ideas to create a new whole. What? That's Zen. That's why I love Zen. So I call myself a Zen writer. Well, what is that? I don't know. Well, it's a metaphysical prose poet who discovers strange conceits in the world that, when held together, reveal a new world, a new way of seeing, a new understanding, a bigger boat, like in Jaws. We need a bigger boat. How do you get a bigger boat? By holding together incompatible or strange conceits. And you stay with it. You stay with it, you see. You don't say, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, I know what it is, let's go on, what's new? No, you stay with it. You're curious. You follow the M&Ms. You follow the breadcrumbs. And it takes you out of the forest, you see, of confusion. It takes you out of the forest of doubt and contradiction, which is the modern world. So let's see. I don't know if I'm going to go anywhere else with this or not. I've been writing about it Sunday morning, and I usually, for some reason, I put down the reins and just let the horse run on Sunday morning. And so I had this urge to come back and give my Facebook Live talk here, and I don't know if I'll continue or not. not. But yesterday I did go visit my YouTube account, where all these talks are posted, and I'm getting some interest, you know. I think not many. One person said, gee, your stuff is really good. It's too bad you don't have a larger fan base. I don't think I have a fan base. But anyway, so, and I got to reflecting on, last night I watched a documentary. I like World War II or war documentaries, and I'm having trouble to find one I haven't watched. And last night it was on Vietnam, about a platoon of a helicopter platoon in Vietnam, and of course the Vietnam veterans are all still awake and articulate, you know, and able to talk about their experience, and most of them look back on their horror of the war with great fondness. They were so alive. The rush of adrenaline. The rush of adrenaline. But you know, there's something else to it, because adrenaline is a chemical. So they weren't, you can't, oh, it's a chemical. There's something more there. Why do these warriors get addicted to the rush, the high of battle, of combat? And then, I watched another documentary last night about a decorated lieutenant, a platoon leader in the 82nd Airborne, the most decorated soldier in that division, in the Airborne. His nickname was Maggie. I forgot he was a Greek boy from Wisconsin. Nice boy. He goes to war and he becomes a killer. He becomes a killer. He's the platoon leader. He says, I lead, I don't follow, I don't command from the rear. So he led his men through Italy, through the invasion of Normandy and all, and he jumped on a tank and got a medal for jumping on a tank and dropping a hand grenade in it, you know, and just, just fearless. And he said the one thing that motivated me was to kill Germans. He was a killer. But before the war, he was a nice Wisconsin farm boy. And after the war, he was a nice boy, a nice man. He was different. But he wasn't, Maggie, this killer, Who was that? And then there was a movie called with General Patton. And I remember our character, I forgot who it was, he says, oh, I love war, And then there was the apocalypse, the smell of napalm in the morning. So what, you follow me now, see where we're going. So now we come to Facebook Live. And, getting back to Maggie. So there was this person, it's a Greek name, forget it. That's why they called him Maggie. So there was this boy before the war. Then there was this Maggie during the war, the killer. And then there was this nice man after the war. So was there one person that changed? Or were these different people? In Zen, there's the Saint Dogen described it this way. He said, first there is firewood, and firewood has its own memory, and then there is ash, and ash has its own memory, and then there is something else, has its own memory. So there is nothing consistent that goes through. In other words, the firewood does not change into ash. There's firewood and there's ash. So there's the boy before the war in Wisconsin, and then there's the Maggie in the war, and then there's the man afterwards. Is there one person that changed through all that, or is each one unique, you see? So right here with Facebook now, why do I get drawn to do Facebook Live, you see? Well, there was the me before I did this Facebook. I was sitting in there writing, and then there was the me that went to bed last night and the me that woke up this morning, and there's the me that has breakfast with my family and goes out and does this and that. And then there's the me on Facebook. And then after the live is over, then there's the me after that, and so on. Is there one me that changes through that, or is each one a different? Am I a different person here than I am before I write it and after, you see? This is a question I'm asking. This is a question. Who am I, you see? Am I this moment, and am the me that is this moment, is that the same person that was 5 minutes ago? And in 5 minutes from now, when you look back, am I the same person now that I was? In other words, are we just here and we believe we are a thing, a person, a fixed person who changes in time? Or are we time? Do things change? Or are things change? You see, are we change? So when Maggie became a killer, got medals for it, hated Germans, then after the war he loved Germans. Went to Germany on a tour, hugged all the people, everybody loved him. See, but during the war, he killed Germans. No forgiveness, kind of like Will Mooney in The Unforgiven. No forgiveness. You killed me, I killed you. So was there a Maggie that changed all this, or was that a unique Maggie? And when the war ended, that Maggie ended. So when Facebook Live ends, am I still this person? Am I a different person? And I just have this belief that there is an Ed Conley that is the same, and it just changes with things, you see. Or does Ed Conley exist? Is there just this moment? Are we always just this? And just this is conditioned by just this, you see. So that's the question. And the way I get at it, you see, is through strange conceits. Strange conceits. I hold up different, I hold up Maggie, and I hold up the Vietnam fighter pilot who loved the chemical. He didn't love the chemical. He loved being alive. The pilots, the crew, they've said, when you get through a fight, you were just alive. You felt so alive because you got through it. But while you were going through it, you weren't afraid of not getting through it. There was no fear. You were just doing it, you see. So when you do Facebook Live, like Ryan, I'm just doing it. There's no me afraid of what I'm doing. Or am I doing it right? You see, whatever. You just do it. I think that's the rush of Facebook Live for me. And I pull back from it for a while and stop doing it, and then I get to call, so to speak. I get the call. The call of war, so to speak, you see. The call of the helicopter whirl, you see. The call of the battle. The call to be alive. And then I go back, to the conditional verse. But here, you see, I'm the unconditioned. And so are we all. We're all unconditioned, but we have this fatal belief that we are something that continues and is conditioned, you see. We have this fatal flaw, this fatal belief that's given to us by our culture, that we're something that changes, that is changed by time. So this person was changed by the war, and then he's back. You see, there is no person that's changed. We are change. We are time. We are. We're time. We're change. We're a verb. There's no fixed noun. That's all language. You see, we're the Word. The Word of God. We're the Word. The Word is a verb. It's a sound. It's an action. It's now. You can't divide the word. When you speak, you can't divide it into two. It's one, you see. So we're always just this one, this word, you see. But we have this idea that we're a noun. changing, you see. No, I shouldn't change. I want to change. I shouldn't have done that. Well, when you did it, you were a different person than you are now. Anyway, thanks for dropping in on Strange Conceits. Maybe I'll name this talk that, Strange Conceits.